About 15 years ago, when I decided that graphic design wasn't my gig anymore. I was a graphic designer, commercial illustrator, but it wasn't feeding my soul. I was doing art just for the sole purpose of selling a product. And I was like, that's not really cutting it for me. So I decided that what would be the ultimate art? I was like, well, tattooing. If somebody asks you to do a painting for them, that's pretty flattering. But if somebody comes to you and says, listen, man, I want you to do some art that's going to be on my body the rest of my life, that's about as heavy as it gets. And I decided that's what I wanted to get into. The defining moment of my career was brought on about by friends. Some cats that were insistent on me tattooing them. I hadn't tattooed yet. They'd come to my house and they see my paintings, all the different art I did, and they were like, bro, you got to tattoo us. And I was like, well, there's a problem. I don't know how to tattoo. One day they showed up with a bunch of tattoo equipment and they were like, today's the day. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And this one guy, he was like fully tattooed, and he's like, bro, I've been tattooed so much, I could tell you how to tattoo me. And that's actually how it started. I think mainly my approach to tattooing is what got people going. It wasn't your typical shop. I never had a shop where you walked in and there was flash all over the walls. It's always been custom. I've always tried to make sure that I was doing spiritual tattooing, something that really meant something to somebody.
I think what truly separates Zulu from other artists is his commitment to not just the art itself, but to the client. When he agrees to work with his clients, it's a commitment not just to give you the best artwork that he possibly can, but it's a commitment to give a very important piece of himself to you to take with you forever. And I don't know if he necessarily sees it that way, but I think his clients definitely see it that way, and that's why people come to him, because they just know, without even really knowing him, but knowing about him and being in his presence, you can feel that he has that commitment to not, as I said, not just the artwork, but to you as well.
I offered a type of tattooing that is more of the ancient craft of tattooing, that has to do with honoring your ancestors or the birth of a child or, that kind of stuff. So once people found out that's what I was into, that's when I just couldn't keep up with them. When I'm looking for an artist to fill a position at my shop, the first thing I'm looking for is someone that I like. I have to have people who are sensitive to my clients' needs. They are very much like me.
Was fortunate enough to go to a shop here in Hollywood, showed the work. They actually said someone could do it better, and that person was Zulu. They actually sent me to a different shop. Met Zulu, became friends with him, and during our friendship of getting my sleeve, he offered me the apprenticeship of tattooing. Currently, I've been working for a movie studio as an illustrator, and like I said, I had no intentions of ever becoming a tattoo artist until it was offered. Tried it, fell in love with it, and quit my job at the movie studio, and have been doing it ever since.
My shop is not a shop. It's not a parlor. It's not, we don't do tats. No, this is a temple. This is no different than a church or a synagogue or any of those places, because there was a time when a place like this was a holy place, and I still consider that. These people come here to get a marking on them that's going to be on the body the rest of their life, and it means more to them than even the tattooist could ever know. Not to sound cheesy or all of that, but my shop is a temple. It's where people come and receive a sacred mark. So the one word for Zulu tattoo is temple.
Tattooing is kind of like the notch in your tree of life, and it kind of lets you remember where you were at that point.
The job is very satisfying to me in that I help people. I really do. And that's why we're put on this planet, to help each other. And when someone comes to me and they're trying to define or redefine themselves by way of tattooing, and I provide that, man, I go home jazzed. I can sleep and, go, wow, I really made a difference. Basically, I made a difference in the world. We all talk about making a difference. I make a difference.